bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
The city of Philadelphia is keeping the dream alive by remembering the life and legacy of one of history's greatest civil rights leaders. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Linda Kurtz and you're watching a special red carpet edition of Comcast Newsmakers. Today we are honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. at the 26th Annual Awards and Benefit Luncheon at the Sheraton in downtown Philadelphia. Tell me how the Martin Luther King Jr. Association for Nonviolence got started.
Mrs. Coretta Scott King asked my wife to start an association here in Philadelphia because Philadelphia was one of Dr. King's favorite cities. So my wife started the Martin Luther King Association for Nonviolence, and it's the only Martin Luther King Center in America. There's no other outreach center like it.
Now, what is the mission of the Martin Luther King Jr. Association for Nonviolence, and how do you carry out that mission throughout Philadelphia?
Well, in the past, the mission has been to mitigate violence, to do everything that we could before violence became an issue to prevent it. In recent years, though, our focus has been on education because we believe one of the best ways to prevent violence is to educate children. And that's what we're trying to do with our College for Teens program, with our mentoring programs, is to educate kids to know that there's a better way in life than through the vehicle or the medium of violence.
Every King holiday commences with the national symbolic ringing of the Liberty Bell at Independence Hall.
And I can tell you that he was said to each of us that if you really, really, really believe in the Almighty, there's no way you could not love everybody. Dr. King always preached that God created each of us in his own image, and underneath the skin we're all the same. How I felt standing next to that Liberty Bell, knowing that I too, as an African American, I'm entitled to the promise of America.
You were a special assistant to Dr. King. Describe your experiences with him.
Well, one thing I learned while I worked with him, that he's atypical of what people think, that he was so much fun. He was funny, humorously funny, but so seriously committed to his work. What I remember most about him is that he practiced what he preached. He preached nonviolence, he practiced it.
In terms of civil rights, we've come so far in the last 40 years, but I'm sure if Dr. Martin Luther King were still here today, he'd say there's still progress to be made. In what areas do you see that need?
Well, there's no question about it. When you talk about the broader responsibility we have, healthcare, as the governor mentioned, has to be at the top of the agenda. The only way we can get it done across the country and bring healthcare to every American is to have presidential leadership. That's why this presidential election is so central to that, because the next president, whoever that person is, frankly in either party, must, I think, lead an effort to provide more health insurance.
What are we doing in the city of Philadelphia to carry on those principles that were espoused by Dr. Martin Luther King?
Well, we continue to remind people that violence is not a solution to the challenges that people find between and among themselves, that picking up a weapon or taking out other negative action where you have a dispute is really not the solution, and ultimately end up damaging not only the other person's life but your own life at the same time. We've had made some strides with regard to crime in Philadelphia, but nowhere near as much as we need to, and we have to continue to deliver the message that nonviolence is the way for the city to move in a positive direction. We shall
Philadelphia plays a unique and historic role in the life of Dr. King and his memory. You've been watching a special red carpet edition of Comcast Newsmakers, seen exclusively on Comcast Cable. From the 26th Annual Awards and Benefit Luncheon, presented by the Martin Luther King Jr. Association for Nonviolence, I'm Linda Kurtz. Thanks for watching.